Hello and born. Welcome to Paso del Camino, a project within the Camino Santiago to the Camino Santiago, and it's such a pleasure for me to have you here. For you that not know, Anne is a pilgrim and a writer, awarded writer. Let me know, and it's just such a amazing pleasure for me to be able to talk to you. Thank you, Anne.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, and let's start with some challenge. I will play two songs, and you have to connect them to the Camino. Okay? First one.
Ah, I know this song.
Okay, this was the first, and then the second. It's much more easier.
So I know the answer to this one. The
So
first, I love the first song. It's a Christmas carol,
yes, it is.
and it's absolutely beautiful. It appeared in the movie The Way, and
That's the
they
question.
later cut it. They cut it from the movie and replaced it with another song because the Christmas carol didn't go with the time of the movie.
Okay, yeah,
But I learned about Berragueto, the band,
yeah.
and I have all of their recordings. I love that music. It's fantastic.
This is that's
The
amazing.
second, the second is also from the movie The Way, and
Yeah,
I believe it's
yeah.
Alanis Morissette.
It is. Thank you. Yeah, from Millennium
Yeah.
Birthday. That's a connection. I know. I mean, uh, that's amazing. So why the Camino?
Why the Camino? Oh my gosh. I learned about the Camino when I was an undergraduate at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
And I learned about it because of the sculpture. I didn't know very much about St. James. I didn't know anything about Spain other than my mother really liked flamenco music. So I learned about the sculpture and I learned about building the churches and I learned about the itinerant workers that would go from town to town. They would put up a cathedral and move to the next town and build another one. And I thought it was extraordinary. And the idea that you could walk the whole way captivated me. And I did nothing about it, nothing, until I was much, much older. And I read an article in the New York Times that said that it was a holy year. This was in 2010. And there was this door, and this door would open, and people would walk through it, and they would receive many blessings. And I thought, that's really nice. I like that. And I thought, I remember my class at university. Maybe I should try this. So I got on a plane and had no idea what I was doing. And I walked from Sarria to Santiago by myself. I left New York on Christmas Day and I arrived at the cathedral an hour and a half before they closed the door. I had walked through the Pyrenees with my son the year before to sort of test it out, and I didn't like it. I was not happy. I had the wrong shoes. I was carrying too much. I couldn't keep up with my son. He was way too fast, and I really was really slow. But this time I'd done it, and it was extraordinary. And I walked through the holy door, and I met a woman in the line waiting to get in, who said, "You know what? We're going to do this again in 2021. You and me, we're going to do this." And I never got her name.
Do you know? I love the Camino so much. Like I was telling my story before, I owe my life to the Camino. but before I realized this, there was like this moment on my first Camino. I was doing on bike, and in Alberg, in the public albergue in Valença Domingo, on the Portuguese Camino in Valença, on the way back home, um, there was like 20 pilgrims over there. And there's like this Brazilian guy. He talks to me, and do you know, I want to do something special. I want to cook for everyone that are here, but I don't know English. Do you know English? Yes, I know some. I can speak some. Can you speak to everyone and see if they want to do like this joint meal? Yeah, okay. So I talked to everyone. Like everyone did like 2 or 3 years. Uh, Me and the Brazilian guy, we went to buy some groceries. Then when we came back, he cooked, and we had like this shared meal with like 20 pilgrims from Australia, from Spain, from Portugal, from Brazil, from Germany, from Netherlands, from Hungary. And this moment was so special for me to understand, like, on the Camino we are all the same. It doesn't matter where are you from. It doesn't matter if you are rich or if you are poor. Uh, I guess like it was my first contact to what really is the Camino. For you, when and why you realized that's a Camino was an important part of your life.
There was something about it that I had never experienced, and it was a sense of accomplishment. I did brave, bold things all by myself that I never. If somebody said, can you do this? I would have just said, no, of course not. I remember when I left Saria, the woman at the hotel told me, you should wait. Don't go now. It's dark. It'll be dark. And I said, I got this. I can do this. And I walked out. I walked out of town, and it was dark. It was dark. It was completely dark. And I thought, what have I done? What I didn't listen to her. I'm a complete idiot. And then I thought, you know what though? I got this. I can do this. I can do this. And I have a little video of me walking that morning saying, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And then I did. And I cannot remember another instance in my life where I felt accomplished and satisfied and content at the same time. And I was just doing the simplest thing.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Uh, what was like for you to walk with your daughters?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was amazing. We started in Madrid and we took the train to Leon. And we spent the night in the Parador in Leon, which was fantastic. And the next morning I was told not to walk out of Leon, but to actually go out to Virgen del Camino.
Yeah.
So we took a taxi out to Virgen del Camino. And I have the most amazing photograph of the two of them because they just trusted me. And it was just this wonderful moment as a mom that they had their backpacks, they had their poles, they had their boots, and there's a picture of the two of them just setting off. And I thought, oh my God, they just trust me to do this, and they're going to be okay, and it's going to be an adventure, and we'll do this together. Of course, this was the middle of December, so the Camino in December is nothing like any other time of the year. And we just walked, and then this guy rode up to us on a bike and said, I've got an albergue, it's open, come with me. We make really good food. And we spent the night there. And then we went to the next town, and I remember everything being closed, but there was a sign saying, call us and we'll find a place for you to stay. And 5 minutes later, they said, we're so sorry it took us a minute. We wanted to pick up breakfast for you. Oh my God. So all along the way, we had these marvelous little moments. We walked out of the albergue one morning, and there were a group of guys having their coffee, and they're all standing there going, no, senora, the Camino's the other way. It's the other way. And then I see one guy going, all right, it's not the other way, it's this way. Okay, thanks, guys. I mean, the little moments like that, it just adds up to such a brilliant experience. And then when we got to the cathedral, the three of us together, it was just fantastic.
For me, like I said to you, I was able to walk the Winter Camino, the Camino Indiano, last year, and one of my favorite moments of walking that Camino was like mainly, I don't know, in I don't know, I can't remember the place because it was like a small village, like with 10 houses, nothing more, and like we went to like this woods area, and after walking out of this forest, there was like these 10 houses, and they're like this rest area for pilgrims, and I sat there, and after that I went like this old woman, uh, she went take care of her chickens, um, and she talked to me. She talked to me. I started talking to her, and we talk about everything for like 2 hours, and it's just so amazing. It was just so amazing. Uh, that's why I told you that the Camino, this winter Camino, was so special because of these, like you said, these small moments. This just talks about things in life, about the virus, about living there, about the chickens. I don't know. It was just so special. Hard question, really hard. Uh, Even if I can't remember, but if you can go back to your best moment on the Camino, which moment you choose?
There are so many. The one that comes to mind right away was when I walked the Camino Primitivo, which is not easy. It's not, there's no part of the Camino Primitivo that's
No, it's
easy.
not. It's not.
It is really challenging, and you will find yourself doing things you never thought you could do, and then you'll do them again the next day. I took the Hospitalis route, of course,
Me too.
because it's
I don't.
spectacular.
I can't describe. I can't describe it. I can't. It's just in.
No, 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 no. And the photographs, I look at the photographs and go, that's not everything. It's just part of it. But you go way above the tree line and you're up with the wild horses and the raptors, and it's spectacular. And this woman and man walked by me and said, oh my goodness, yes, beautiful. They asked me if they could carry my backpack for me.
Oh my god.
And I thought, this is easily the most challenging climb and the most difficult route. But you want to do that for me. I thought that was beautiful. And I remember the same Camino. I walked out of Lugo, and two young people walked by and asked me, we have some dried fruit. Can we give you some dried fruit? Or the time I walked again from Saria, and a guy on a bike said, can I take your backpack and put it on my bike? It's just this sense that we're all doing this together, and we should help each other get there.
I need to tell you this. I tell these stories sometimes, but if our minds sometimes are like very close-minded in terms of thinking about something, you know, like for me, I was walking the Portuguese Camino in 2018 with and in Pontevedra, like I said, I met like these amazing girls, amazing women from. They were three from Seattle, two others from Canada. They were friends. They are acquaintances, and in arriving in Padron, we are all the six of us, uh, all the in few places on the road. There was like this. I guess it was Lori. Lori, she was the first arriving, and in Padron it was on a Sunday. In Padron on Sunday there was like this big big markets, uh, and we arrive in Padron, and Laurie stop, sit down on a table, and ask for a beer. Then I arrived. I sit down and ask for a beer, and the other girls were coming and asking for a beer. Okay. Do you know that in Spain, with you ask for a beer, they put you something to eat, like some chips, or in that day was some I don't know, I can't remember the word. It was like some veal meat, um, with chicken peas, and I don't like chicken peas, but I like the meat. So I ate the meat, and the girls went and ate the chicken piece. But like I said, it was like in on a big market, and just in front of me there was like this I don't know, auto caravan. It says like this, no, auto caravan, like this, doing like roasted chicken, and roasted chicken. It was just one of my favorite foods ever. So it was like in front of me, and there was Laurie. There was just beside me. I talked, "Hey, Laurie, do you know? I want so much eat that roasted chicken, but I can't. I don't have plates. I don't have forks. I don't have knife. I don't have anything. Yeah, go. Maureen, my friend here, he has some forks and some knives. You can eat it. Okay." So I went. I bought the roasted chicken, and I set him in on the table. We take care of the bag, but uh, Maureen couldn't find the fork and the knife. So we had, and if we don't have the forks to eat it, but um, the chicken was eaten anyway. And do you know, all by our bare hands, and in 5 minutes there was no chicken. It was no chicken. And I said to you, it was just so amazing for me, because I have, and it was my mistake. I have, in that moment, I had like this idea that the people from America, they were like these very fancy people. You won't eat chicken or ribs or whatever by hand. You have to have a knife and a fork. And that moment was so special because of that, you know. And for me, it was one of my best moments on the Camino. Uh, and I don't know, it was just so amazing to be able to see this, to be able to live this, and it was just so nice to me. Um, so this comes to right to the next question. Can you share some of that moments with us, some of that special stories that you lived while walking the Camino, please, with us?
There are every day. There's something every day.
That is it.
I remember actually when I finished the Hospitalis route and I
Yeah.
came into town, the people that I had started out with had already gotten there because I'm really slow. And they were all sitting at the bar, and I walked in and they applauded. They gave me a round of applause, and I felt really good about that. I thought that was really wonderful. And then that night, because as you mentioned, I am a writer, they asked me for a bedtime story. So there were the four of us or five of us, whatever it was, in one of the rooms in the albergue. And I pulled up one of my stories on my phone and I read stories, like the bedtime stories. That was fun. There are such wonderful people. It's always the people you remember. You won't remember the name of the town, but you'll remember the lovely people that helped you.
You can now you can see here the picture. You know the chicken.
Ah, that's great.
No, you're just amazing for me. So please.
No, I was just gonna say, I had pizza one night for dinner, and I really couldn't finish it. I had, there's a big, you can only order a pizza, so it is whatever size it is. And I couldn't finish it, so I felt terrible. I didn't want to embarrass the man who had made me the lovely pizza, but I brought it up and I apologized. And he reached under the bar and handed me an orange. He said, "Here, you take this with you for tomorrow." It's this little things that make such a big impact on you, where someone is just kind,
For
and
me,
I love that.
yeah, for me, I like one of those moments was already on my first Camino, on the same albergue that I had that sharing meal in Valencia, but on the way to Santiago. Um, I didn't know what I was doing. I have ride the Camino in on bicycle now on my first Camino without a, um, a sleeping bag, and I slept almost on the public albergues on that first Camino. No, there wasn't almost. It was just on the public albergues. And the first time in Ponte de Lima was just so bad because I didn't know how to sleep without sleeping bag. It was just so cold, so cold.
Ah,
I didn't sleep anything. I don't know. And on the next day in Valencia Dominio, uh, there's I don't know the volunteer there, the hospital area there. They don't have sleeping bags to give or blankets or but someone like a few months before has left their sleeping bag there, and
ah.
and 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 this amazing person Maria Jose, she offered me the sleeping bag, and I don't know, it's so amazing.
But there are funny stories too. I'm thinking about the time my friend and I spent the night with two. There were four beds in the room, and there was my friend and me and two men. And it was very cold that night too, and we were not happy. We were not comfortable. But I remember in the morning, one of the guys got up and opened the window. And my friend started shouting at him, "Close the window. We're freezing in here. Close the stupid window." And the poor guy stood there, he just went, "It's not raining." And we thought, "Oh no, here she is yelling at him." And all he wanted to do was tell us that it wasn't going to rain. Oh, Lord. So,
For me, I need to tell you this: walking the Primitivo in 2019. After we get to the Camino, the French Camino, in Melide, of course, we went to Melide. In Melide, we stayed there in Alberg there, and we went to eat the pulpo uh, on the most known place over there. I don't know. I can remember the name.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, yes, yes. So we went there, we ate the pulpo, we drink some bottles of white wine. On the afternoon, we had eaten some, we had drink some more beers. So me and like this girl, the Primitivo was just so amazing for me because on the first days I wasn't some bad happened to me on the first day, not physically but mentally, and after the like for after the stage the hospital stage I met on no on the day before I met like these three amazing persons. They were from Spain, three of them. They were from three different places in Spain. There was like two mid-age guys and a young girl like me, um, and we joined and we walked the Camino together. One of them, he needed to get back home. He couldn't finish the Camino. So after the stage of hospitales, we were free. Me, Guadalupe, the girl from Badajoz, and Rafa, this guy from Sevilla. So we had the most amazing Camino ever, walking the three of us together, and it was just so amazing share the Camino with these amazing persons. Um, and in that day we drink a little bit more, so it was in mid-August, so it was like celebrations all over the Camino, and one of the places were Melide. In Melide, there was like this stage in front of the church, and there was empty. Um, so we I will teach you on that Camino. We are like these I'm like this song that was like our I'm for the Camino. It is a Spanish song, more from Galicia, and it's so amazing. And me and the girl, we get up on the stage and start to dancing to the song of the song. Oh, it's called Santiago Avoy. Yeah, you can see like a joke, man.
Ah,
So was it was just so funny, but there was like this friendship man on that Camino. They were so special and for our lives, and that was one of my funny moments. Another question. So let's go on. You had the opportunity to volunteer at the Pilgrim's office. How it was like that?
oh man, that was amazing. That was in 2014. I did not write Compostelas, but I greeted the pilgrims as they came into the line that went into the old pilgrim's office that was on the Roviar. And it was wonderful because I I speak several languages, none of them very well, but I try, and I would try to speak to everyone in a language I thought they could understand. And how do I put this? Well, prior to this experience, anytime I would try to speak, go from, say, from Spanish to Italian, the languages would do this and they wouldn't make any sense. And I would start out in Spanish and end in Italian, and it was crazy. So what I had to do was I had to teach myself how to go from Spanish to French to Italian to English to French to Spanish to Italian without having the languages get in the way.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that, which was amazing. So what I would do would be I would look at their credencial, and if I saw they had an Italian credencial, I'd say, "Buongiorno, come va?" And they went, "Wow, how did you know?" And so I had so much fun with that. And I would ask them where they started, just trying to kill time where they waited in line to get their Compostela. And I worked with an amazing woman from Texas. Um, and she and I just explored Santiago all day. And it gave us both time to spend in the cathedral, which is actually what led to the book that I just finished writing. I would go into the cathedral, I would walk around the cathedral, and I wanted to know who all the dead people were. So I took all of these photographs. I had this idea. I said, one of these days, I'm gonna write about all these dead people, because there are so many beautiful sepulchres and grave sites at the cathedral of all these important, wonderful people who have been there. And I wanted to know more. So I ended up writing a book about all the dead people.
Let me tell you a story about one of that people. That for for the place of Compostela, for the place of the cathedral, this guy was just so important. But in some other places, it may not be as well seen as people may know. I'm telling this because I am from Braga. And Braga, it's a Roman city, ancient Roman city. We are more old than like 2,000 years old. It's like a really old Roman city. Um, and in the medieval age, it was really important on the peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula. And this bishop of Santiago, Diego Chelmires, there was the guy that hired Master Mateo to build the cathedral. It was really special, really important to uh, what he accomplished in that place. But for Braga, for me, uh, he can be seen as a not good person because I know you like Latin, and there's like this something happened, and we call it Pio Latrocinio. Pio Latrocinio, it's just so this guy he wants to attract more pilgrims to the cathedral to Santiago, and to do that, he really made he was because he had studied in Rome. He was really really friend with the Callisto Pope, the Pope Callisto second, I guess. I can't remember. Um, and with this friendship with the Pope, uh, he he gets to know he gets to the like the central power of the Christianity in on the Peninsula Iberica that was in Braga at that time. He bring that and to Santiago, but that wasn't the worst. That was normal on that ages, but he needed more, and that more. In Braga, on the Cathedral of Braga, it's really really old. On the year, I guess 1,102, more or less. It was on that year, 1,102. Um, on a Tuesday, not the people just know it was on a Tuesday, not the day, but it was on a Tuesday. Um, on yeah, around midnight, he came to Braga and steal some relics from saints. For four different saints. Uh, uh, San Frutuoso, San Cucufate, San Silvestre, and Santa Susana. Do you know in Santiago that behind you are on our Doira. In front of you are the cathedral. Behind you are the Paso de Rajoy. On the Camino to the pilgrim's office, in front of you there's a church. There's a church of San Frutuosis, and it's a guy from Braga. He's a saint from Braga. So we may call it a diff. It's a diff.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he told people they preferred to be in Santiago.
Yeah, no, that's just normal. It happens a lot on the on that days. Uh, like you said, you are right. No, sorry. Before that, can you comment on this amazing Latin word that is called solvitude ambulando?
Oh, I love that.
Can you comment on that,
It's
please?
yes. They make T-shirts with it. It means it's solved by walking, and it has a couple of meanings. In one sense, it means that as things progress, they become clearer. But I like to take it a little more literally and say that you can really solve a lot of things by walking. I know a lot of great writers in the past have written about how important it is that You just go out for a long walk and things become clearer to you. Or you, you're frustrated, writer's block, not getting anywhere, and you go out and get some fresh air and take off and see where your feet take you, and somehow things get solved. I love that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, like you said, you are an awarded writer. Can you tell us a little bit more of your books, please?
Well, I started writing because my son is a wonderful writer. And I had done some writing as a child and when I was in college, and I'd sort of given it up. And I was watching him develop as a writer. He had this amazing thing where he would argue with his teachers that he didn't really want to write that essay. Could he please just write a play? And then he'd sit down at 10 o'clock at night, and by the time he went to school the next morning, he had written a play to answer whatever the assignment was, and it was marvelous. And I became excited about the craft of writing, and I started writing a blog on a website called Open Salon, and I developed friendships with other bloggers, and I read this wonderful little ad that said you could blog a book, and I thought, oh wow, I could do that. I could just take all my stories and put them together. So my first book was called A Marshmallow on the Bus, and it was about a story about one morning I was on my way to work and there was actually a marshmallow on the bus. It was on the floor of the bus. And there I was at the end of the bus route, and I couldn't imagine how the marshmallow had survived. So I started collecting stories, and I wrote stories on the bus, and I wrote stories on the train, and I started writing poetry. And part of it was in response to this group, like I said, on Open Salon, we would challenge each other to write better. I think that writers need to be in a community to support your work. You need to do a lot of work on your own, absolutely. But the more people you can get to support you, I think the better your writing gets. So it was only natural that I would start writing about the Camino. And I published my first book. It's called Buen Camino, Tips from an American Pilgrim, because I didn't want people to be afraid. I didn't want fear to stop people. So there are practical little tips about how to stay in an albergue, what a typical day is like. Don't bring this, do bring that. Don't do this, do that. And the whole idea is don't be afraid. Just try it. Buy a plane ticket. You're going to be fine. It sounds really, really scary that you're just going to walk out the door and start walking, because we don't do that in the United States very much.
Yeah.
It seems like something that other people do. And I wanted this to be something that anyone could do.
Do you know that regarding that you told us in, I don't know, 2016 or 2015, this woman, this American pilgrim, was killed on the Camino. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you know that after that, more or less, the woman from America, there was I don't know, being afraid of walking the Camino because of that?
Yes, and in fact, there's a group called Camigas, where you can buddy up with other women to walk together. I much prefer to walk by myself, and I've never really felt threatened. I walked in January 2020 by myself. I walked in December 2010 by myself. I walked in July 2016 by myself. I walked in May 2017 I walk by myself mostly. When I'm really lucky, I can walk with my children. And I did with my daughter. We walked the Portuguese route from Bayona in April 2019. But in all of these cases, I walked with I have 3 daughters and a son. I walked with my older daughter in December from Roncesvalles in 2014. And in each of these cases, I did not feel afraid.
That's nice. That's nice. So right now, what is your relationship with the Camino?
Well, I have spent the entire lockdown finishing writing a guide to the cathedral, a building I can't get into right now because I'm in the United States and I can't go to Spain. Much as I would love to go to Spain, I can't. They won't let me in.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I am sitting here in the United States planning as soon as I can get there because I want to go stand in the cathedral. I want to stand in the cathedral. That's what I really, really want to do.
Next Camino.
I really want to do the Camino Inglés again. I love the Camino Inglés, but I've already promised my daughter that we'll walk that Portuguese route from Bayona again.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. So after these different Caminos that you walked, what is the feeling of arriving in Santiago?
Oh, it's amazing. There's nothing like it. There's something wonderful about coming around in front of the building and just realizing that you're there. I mean, it's relief, it's joy, it's accomplishment. It's a very emotional moment. It's kind of hard to characterize, but
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
For me, you know, I feel like this piece. I can be like 3 or 4 hours sitting there watching the cathedral without doing nothing, just watching.
Yes,
Yes. It's just give me just a peace inside. Just I know I am where I need to be feeling. I can describe it, but it's just a peace, and I can feel that feeling anywhere else. I can't.
Right.
And
And the other thing is that it's a feeling of being where you want to be. There's so many times in our life where we have to be where we don't want to be.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you are where you want to be. And it's marvelous. And you see the other people and you can appreciate the building. And yeah, it's fabulous.
So we are finishing almost. But one last question before finishing our recording. What would you can say to a pilgrim that will start the Camino ASAP?
Don't be afraid. That's probably the thing. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear stop you. You don't have to be reckless. You don't have to stop taking precautions. Obviously, if it's going to rain, wear the poncho. But don't be afraid. It's not inherently dangerous to walk. And I think most people that can walk to the corner can walk the Camino remarkably. What I learned is it's more about motivation. You have to really, really want to do this.
Yeah.
The very first time that I walked with my son, we walked from San Jean to Roncesvalles. I stopped. I didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I stopped. We were done. I came back, obviously, and I keep coming back. But and in fact, it wasn't fear that stopped me. It was blisters and sunburn and all kinds of other things that were messing with me. But yeah, don't be afraid.
That's really nice advice. So Han, we finished here. It was just amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for this thing. I hope you like it. For me, it was outstanding. Thank you.
Well, today, yeah.
Had to say, yeah.